Coming up in today's video, we're going to be talking about a huge story surrounding new TNA signings, also AEW doing an all-women's pay-per-view, also Tony Khan and the ROH TV deal. Let's talk about it. If you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring that bell. This way you never miss a video on the channel. I'm going to keep you guys updated along the way for everything that happens in professional wrestling. For example, let's talk about the Ring of Honor TV deal. A lot of people have been talking about Ring of Honor's TV deal, largely due to the fact that TNA just announced AMC. And then, of course, there's the talks about Netflix buying Warner Bros. Discovery. And there's just a lot of talk about Ring of Honor and why haven't they secured a good enough TV deal. Now, Dave Meltzer was actually talking about this on the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and he says that the CW was originally going to have an offer for Ring of Honor. There was a point when Ring of Honor could have gone on to CW. It wasn't speculation, it was real. But Tony Khan decided he didn't want to do it because he didn't want WBD to think he wasn't loyal to them, and so therefore he walked away from them. And therefore, CW then went on to make a deal with WWE NXT, and that's literally what happened. So Tony Khan originally turned down the CW, which, looking back, probably wasn't the right choice, right? But he chose to turn down Ring of Honor because he wanted to have loyalty to WBD. Now, I actually understand that. I don't have an issue with that. I think having loyalty to your TV provider makes a lot of sense. But I think in hindsight, Tony Khan probably should have taken it. Warner Bros. Discovery, it's been well documented that WBD was going to put Ring of Honor on True TV. And instead, Tony Khan turned down that deal and they put Dynamite reruns on True TV on Friday nights at 10 p.m. So in hindsight, probably Tony Khan should have taken the CW deal. CW pays what? I think like $50 million a year for NXT. I think I could be wrong on that. But obviously Ring of Honor being on the CW would have been a relatively big deal. Who knows what that could have been like. But I think for Tony Khan, man, the thing that I struggle with is like, if you put a little bit more effort into Ring of Honor, it is a valuable TV product and you could get paid a lot on it. I don't think Ring of Honor is treated as much as it should be. I think it should be treated better from a weekly TV standpoint. But like ROH Final Battle, it was an enjoyable watch. It was fun to watch. It was good stuff. You know, it's just the weekly TV. I feel like there's no effort there. I would like to see Tony Khan put a little bit of effort into Ring of Honor TV, go get that TV deal, make more money, have some synergy between Ring of Honor and AEW. It's perfect. Tony Khan also talking about an all-women's AEW pay-per-view. I thought this was very interesting. It's not the first time we've heard about this, but of course, during the media scrum for Final Battle 2025, he was asked if we can ever expect a all-women's event from AEW. He says, I think certainly having more events that include more and more women's championships and matches have been fantastic. I think the depth of the women's wrestling in AEW and Ring of Honor just continued to get better and better. He says that he's absolutely given the thought of doing an all-women's pay-per-view. He says whatever platform or however it were to happen, there's a lot of ways it could happen. I mentioned earlier the Global Wars events have been fantastic. Bringing women from all over and having a Global Wars event like that is something I've thought about as well. Global Wars technically is a streaming special. We don't call it a pay-per-view, but really it is all on the same app and you're paying for the whole thing the same way. Definitely an event. An all-women's event with women from all over is something I have thought about. And again, potentially a Global Wars, bringing women from all over could be great too. So Tony Khan is definitely planning an all-women's event of some sort. Some people are going to criticize Tony Khan and say, well, you're only doing this because WWE did Evolution. No, I think it's like a no-brainer in professional wrestling. TNA has done it before when they were Impact Wrestling. I think AEW and Ring of Honor doing an all-women's pay-per-view and include, you know, people from Stardom, include people from CMLL. That's the value in those partnerships, is that you can do these kind of events and you could kind of extend the invite to talent outside of your company to create some nice, you know, cross-promotional matches. I think an all-women's event genuinely does make sense for AEW. Now, a long time ago when it was mentioned, I don't think that was the same sentiment that I shared, but that's largely due to the women's division obviously has improved significantly in the past year and a half for AEW and Ring of Honor. It's just a no-brainer, in my opinion. So if I were Tony Khan, what I would do is I would try to do this all-women's pay-per-view event, and whatever your massive storyline is with Mercedes Moné, have it culminate at that event. At the end of the day, Mercedes Moné is your big name. You have Toni Storm, you have Mina Shirakawa, you have a list of talent that are just so valuable. Do something massive. You will get pay-per-view buys. People will be interested. You will sell tickets. WWE has proven that with women's wrestling, you can have an event and be successful with it. And I know Tony Khan could also do the same. This is one of those things where it's just like a no-brainer. It just makes business sense. And there are so many good different women's matches that you can do that, genuinely speaking, I feel like people would be intrigued by the matches and the lineups if Tony Khan were to do that. So it is something that I do think should happen. And that brings us to our final topic, ladies and gentlemen. TNA bringing in new names to the company. First, we'll start with former AEW star Bear Bronson. He joined Brock Anderson and CW Anderson with TNA last night at Final Resolution. There was an open challenge. They accepted the open challenge. This was awesome on so many levels. Brock Anderson, obviously former AEW star. He's been working MLW with CW Anderson. PWInsider.com has come out and said, hey, they finished up with MLW. The belief now is that Brock Anderson, CW Anderson are now in TNA. Bear Bronson was rumored to come into TNA. He's now picking up more dates with TNA. We don't have an official confirmation on how long the deal is, but a lot of people are under the belief that these three names are joining TNA for sure. But also in addition to that, we saw the return/debut of the Righteous. Vinny and Dutch, they've officially come back to TNA. There was obviously vignettes throughout the night to tease it. And then the Hardys, they retained their tag team title belts. And then the Hardys went face-to-face with Vincent and Dutch. And obviously the Righteous were rumored to come to WWE. There was a lot of things about them. TNA needs help in the tag team division. I think you got to put a little bit more emphasis in the tag team division. The Righteous are a perfect group of people. Also, when you factor in AMC, like, you could do some very creative stuff, some very fun stuff there. The Righteous going after the Hardys, I think, makes a lot of sense. I'm assuming that match is going to take place on live on AMC. Time to start bolstering this tag team division. But I think those are some cool names, right? Bear Bronson is somebody who has been killing it on the indies. Brock Anderson is somebody with a lot of potential. And then obviously Vinny and Dutch, they're established tag team. So overall, this is very good stuff. Happy to see TNA making moves. Happy to see everybody making moves, quite frankly. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.